which is a show dedicated to the pursuit of physiological liberation. And physiological liberation can be achieved through the practice of something known as the Mucusless Diet Healing System, authored by Professor Arnold Ehret in the early 1900s. And in the Mucusless Diet Healing System, Professor Arnold Ehret dispels many of the insidious and erroneous myths that have plagued society and humanity over the past 300 years. Myths such as the protein theory. And can I get a fart sound or something? And the vitamin myth. And the ever popular white blood corpuscle.
Pardon me.
It was a silent one for that. Yeah. Silent but a goodie. So basically what Professor Arnold Ehret did was develop a systematic way to transition your diet from death-promoting foods that create mucus and pus in the body to non-mucus forming foods. Now, baby Babaji, could you tell us what are mucus forming foods?
Well, mucus forming foods are starchy foods that come out of mucus and pus. And pus is usually chicken and McDonald's and McDoo-doo. So, what we need to get away from this...
So...
Well, what we need to get away from this mucus and pus is a enema bag.
Well, you're just on that enema.
Yeah.
I mean, every sentence always ends with get the bag.
Get the bag. Right.
Pus and mucus, dead animal flesh, dairy, grains, and starches.
Yeah.
So I mean that's where you start at, and you use the grains and the starches and even a little dairy, which
well, when you start, we give you that 6 months to a year where you're really just
trying to eliminate things that are
right.
Really,
that's preschool, where
really
you
deep in your bloodstream.
Where kind of anything goes. It's knowing where you're going. That's, I think, the key.
Right.
Knowing that you're having an idea of where you need to go, because that will dictate what you do to get there. And
a belief system too of going it on your own. Actually, believing, really scrapping everything else. I mean, that's the true believer is the one, and the one that I think gets the farthest is the one who starts really believing that this is for them, that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to scrap everything else and see where this takes me.
Right.
Those are the ones who really get farther. It's like when you have those who 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Well, I'm going to do my medicine, but I'm going to do this a little slower. And I would suggest that for maybe some real elders,
Right.
And it'd be supervised, and not by doctors, by those who know a little bit about the Mucusless Diet Healing System. But the young people, and I'm saying young, under 60, under 70, I'm saying scrap dead animal flesh immediately. It has no use, no purpose. It is killing you in every way. Most of the dairy, you can use some of the dairy, on on a real good transition piece. But
and that's a matter of reading a book and doing your homework.
Yeah, just doing
understanding how to use the transitionary menus and foods to get to, again, more important than any of that to me is understanding the goal.
Well, it's not
Where
a
is
makeup.
it going?
It's not a makeup thing. Well, I'm a vegetarian, now I'm going to start making it up. This is Mucusless Diet Healing, operative word, system. It's a system. It has been proven that if you follow this system, you can transition yourself away from mucus and pus. I mean, you can do it, but you have to get that ego out of the way and really start following the system and pushing the right buttons. Is you don't want to go over and over again. Like, I'm inspired today, then you're eating good, then the next day you're trashing yourself, and just constantly having this psychological, physiological battle amongst yourself. You want to know why you are going through these cravings, and this addiction is very deep and insidious. I mean, so you need a system, and you need something that's as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Natural nature. This is not something that has been put together to sell books or to sell this program. These are things that work over years and years and years and years of people who have went through the transition and can tell you about it. Getting to long fasts, doing your enema every day. I don't know why people are scared of a little water up their behinds.
Right.
They'll put the most nastiest, vile things in their mouths.
Right.
But they have a problem with doing an enema.
A little bit of water and warm lemon water to irrigate the colon, and
they've been scared away by the know-nothing doctors who need to really do enemas themselves.
Oh.
But they scare them away and tell them, it will deplete your electrolytes. And like, that means something. What the hell is an electrolyte? I can make up a word, and say that it's something,
Right.
So the whole thing is a new physiology, a new language. Only one. All diseases are one thing. A form of constipation. You can call it whatever you want to, but it is something that is obstructing the blood from flowing. Air is not getting through. Your blood is not flowing. That is a disease. Now, if you can call it leukemia, you can call it whatever you want to call it. What we're trying to do is get you to understand that don't panic when your nose is running, or you get a big ball on your penis.
Right.
Or you know what I mean?
Right. Don't panic.
Just don't panic.
Right.
I mean, don't go running to the crazy men.
What happens lots of times, and we'll tell you exactly what happens and what a lot of people will do after this program. They'll hear people that practice a diet talking about doing long periods of fruit diet or mucusless diet or fasting, and without reading the book that we recommend doing before you do anything, get the Mucusless Diet Healing System and read the book.
And all the references that we give to all the books.
Well,
all these references and books that we really want you to try to pick up and research and come to the table with your slant,
Right. But to start out with, especially people that already practice a diet, they should definitely be getting into the research books. But at the bare minimum, before you start doing something, don't try to put it together in your head. And there's so many people do this. I think it's where you hear about the system, and then try to put it together in your head. Okay, that makes sense. Well, what I'll do is I'll just start eating fruit for a while and see what happens. And sometimes it's cool. Now, I can talk about this because I was guilty of that offense. But for me, I was a lucky one where I was talked to Brother Air about the diet, and he's talking about that he had did a fruit fast for a year. So I wanted to see if I would die eating nothing but fruit for a week. And I didn't, and I felt a whole lot better. So that inspired me to buy the book and read the book, and the story was done by that point. But what happens to a lot of people, they'll hear these things, and they'll try to just go fast or do this and that.
Well, they don't want to read the book.
Right, and not read the book, but they feel like they're testing out the waters in some way where, like, well, I'll see how I feel after. Like, nah, this ain't about that. This is about permanent healing. Permanently changing your physiology over a span of a lifetime, and until that kind of commitment is made, and you have that kind of commitment in terms of the preservation of your own life and the quality of your own life. If you ain't serious about life and living, this ain't the show. That ain't the book to read. This ain't the show. American Idol's on at 8, right? You know what I mean? Right. But if you are serious about physiological liberation and the potentials of the human body and the potentials of humanity, period, then, the Mucusless Diet Healing System is book number 1.
It's a greater book than the Bible. Now, I'll put that out. That's Brother Air saying that.
Right.
It's a better book than the Bible. I've got more information from that than I did a Bible, as far as how to apply something. The Bible is just something you read, you take it in, and if you know wrong from right, you can kind of pull that little thread of truth in it, out of it. You dig? You gotta be somewhat clean to even do that.
Right.
If you don't know wrong from right.
Yeah, but I've been trying to do fruit fasts and stuff, and I've been trying to defeat mucus, defeating the mucus and stuff.
What do you mean feed mucus?
I mean defeating it.
Oh, defeating it. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a struggle, and you do good because you fast a lot, and you do your enemas, and
I've been defeating mucus, and I've been sure good eating fruit.
Yeah, all right. That's a good way to use that term. Show good eating fruit. Yeah, let's try that one.
Right.
Let's try that one for
Soul
this
food.
decade. For this decade.
Right.